Being a sibling is a weird thing if you really think about it. One day, I'm 7 years old. My family consists of me and my parents. Then for a short time, I make visits to the hospital to visit my mom after school with my silver Game Boy Advance SP. I fall in love with Sonic Advance 2's soundtrack. All of a sudden, at one of those hospital visits, there's this new being in my world that I have no idea what to do with. I have all this responsibility because now I'm the older brother. I have to look out for this tiny peanut of a creature. I have to set an example. I have to lead the way and make sure that he can be safe in a world I'm still figuring out myself. I try and fail and learn and fail and try again. My patience is tested. I'm not always the best brother. I get jealous that my younger sibling is connecting with my friends and taking up precious moments of our time together when they come over to play video games. I feel like I can't fully connect to him because how could he understand where I'm at? I can't remember what it's like to be his age at all. 7 years is a big gap, and with that gap comes a lot of censorship. At 13, my younger brother is 6. I can't be as free to experiment with finding out who I am around him because I still need to be a pillar for this kid to look up to. I have to hide a lot of myself from him because it's not time for him to experience the things that I am yet. I can't share my love for games fully because he's too young. He loves the Wii but still can't finish Rainbow Road and jumps off every cliff in New Super Mario Bros. I'm happy that he loves video games, but I don't want to force him into liking the things that I do. I want to preserve his individuality because I know that the world will try to strip it away from him as he grows up, just like it has started to do to me. At 16, I can legally drive, but he's only 9. He's still stuck in the backseat playing Pokemon Black on the DS, a series that I never understood outside of the anime, but one he loves dearly. I'm a bit jealous. Only now am I able to play a lot of the games that I've been stuck playing at friends' houses for most of my childhood, and he just gets to inherit them from me. Just by osmosis does he get to experience the things that I could have only dreamed of at his age. We make road trips to Lake Tahoe with our family in the summers, trips I've been making since I was 6 months old. It's 2013, so of course I get into thrifting. Clothes at first, then I find there are a bunch of video games in these thrift stores too. Nintendo 64, Sega Genesis, guidebooks for the original Mortal Kombat. Something clicks. It becomes a treasure hunt of sorts. At first, I go by myself, ticking off all the stores around the lake, and then down into Reno and Carson City, Nevada. Then, one day my brother wants to go with me. I'm 17 now, and he's 10. This is the first time that he and I have been alone in a car together without our parents. How do I talk to him? What do I say? Are you excited for middle school? Why'd you quit playing basketball? None of these questions mean anything, nothing that really matters anyways. So we talk about games. What games we're excited for, what games Nintendo Power was talking about in their final issue, mourning the loss of such a staple of gaming media. We excitedly run through the list of games we hope to find at the thrift stores, or the only dedicated video game shop in the area, the Warp Zone. The conversation is easy and lasts the whole car ride. We are bonding in a way where I feel like I don't have to censor myself. I can hear his individuality shine and get a sense of his tastes and real desires in life. I know that sounds silly, but in any hobby or passion, when you invest in it, you bring your whole self to it. Collecting became this way for us to invest in each other as well as our shared interest. I think we made 3 or 4 trips that summer alone to trade in games we didn't want in order to start our collection. But those car rides were the best part of the whole experience. There was so much hype on the way down, speculation on what the Warp Zone would have, charting courses to new shops on the journey to and from the Bay Area on the way home, ogling over the games in the glass cases, that inbox Earthbound or sealed Evo Search for Eden, riffing off of what to get next, games like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 on the Dreamcast or Banjo-Tooie on the Nintendo 64. The next year, I leave for college on the East Coast. Over the next 4 years, I watch him grow, though only through glimpses every 6 months. Physically, he now towers over me in height, and I watch as he discovers the math and science-based side of his brain that my degree in acting could never hold a candle to. We still have those car rides around the lake, and make it our goal every summer to make at least one trip to the Warp Zone. We add on a trip around the Bay Area dubbed the Odyssey, visiting as many game stores as we can in one day. The conversations on these long trips aren't just about video games anymore. Movies, music, TV, aspirations for high school, his friends, my experience in college, the walls are breaking down to dust. It's mostly because the age gap doesn't mean much anymore, but also because we know how to talk to each other because of the time spent talking about video games. Video games keep us close. They are connective tissue that dispel any physical distance and are a touchstone to always have when it feels like we have nothing to talk about. I send him holy grail items from New York, he sends me games he's been researching online. When the pandemic hits and I move back home, we actually play the games we've been collecting. He watches as I play the Metal Gear games, I watch as he mods our 3DS so we can play all the eShop games before it shuts down. Then, we switch places. He's off to New York and I stay in the Bay Area. We update each other on what games to get through our shared Games to Get notes page, which leads to more casual conversations about how life is going. Usually I don't get much, but I'll take what I can from a college student. In the summers, he's home again and the scheming begins. Sadly, the Warp Zone has closed its doors, so there won't be any more drives around the lake. The Bay Area Odyssey still happens though, often multiple times a summer, and those car rides are filled with talks about all facets of our lives. I never really go game collecting in the same way without him because he's half of the reason to go in the first place. At the time of writing this, I'm 27 and my brother is 20. We still drive all over every summer he's home from college. It's been 10 years that we've been collecting video games. At this point, we are back to collecting for the systems that we were trading in when we started our collection. I have video game collecting to thank for keeping my relationship with my brother alive, and truth be told, I don't think either of us would have it any other way.